All right, for today's adventure, we're going fishing. Yeah, I know it's going to be in the 90s today, really hot, but there's shade. There's going to be shade somewhere on the river. Going to Shepherdstown, Maryland, or what? I'm sorry, Shepherdstown, West Virginia. The other side of the river is Maryland side. We're going to go down there. We're going to drop this kayak. We're going to take the little Red pick 'em up truck, and we're going to go fishing. I've got a bag full of plastics, all my plastics. I got all my regular lures and hooks and all the other stuff sitting up in there. I've got pliers right here. I've got 3 fishing rods. I've got a cooler. I'm going to pick up a sandwich. Got some drinks. Got my life preserver. I got 3 fishing rods. A man is not a man unless he has at least 3 fishing rods. That being said, we're going to take my little Sonoma out today. We're going to go out to the river and we're going to try to catch some big smallmouth. Yes, we are. We're going to try. Thanks to Jake's Bait and Tackle, Winchester, West Virginia. They're right off Route 11, right as you go into Winchester, out of West Virginia. Let me tell you, they got anything and everything you could ever need. Anything and everything you've ever needed. And we're going to go find out. We're going to go find out just what we can do today on a hot day. I'm wearing my Hoochie Man shorts, my tennis shoes. I will plan to get wet today. There's places where I pull off. I'll dock this kayak and I will fish from shore just because I can. So, we've got the truck ready. Got me an ice cold Sprite in there. We're going to hook this up in here so I can charge the battery on this phone while I ride. We're going to leave everything else here. The big ram stand. Just so much easier pulling this kayak on and off. Plus the gas mileage is incredible in this truck. We're going to listen to some Foreigner on the way. That's the only CD I have. Foreigner. Got almost a full tank. We're going to hit the road. Stick around. We'll see what we're going to do today. Yeah, I know it's a little windy. Took my kayak back there. Driving a little Sonoma. Just had some full past me. Must have been doing like 80 on the back road. It's a 45 mile an hour road. I was doing like 50. Came out of nowhere. Scared the living crap out of me there for a minute. Now we're rolling into a little section. Leetown Unincorporated. It's a 30 mile an hour section. We're going to set the cruise control. Someone get in trouble. Let's see. She said it. But I was just thinking as I was going down the road, if every state has a state flower, a state bird, and some have state animals, I figure if states had a smell, let's say your state had a smell that you could recognize the state by the smell. West Virginia, it would be decaying animals. You can't go down the road on a trip without smelling at least one dead deer laying in a ditch somewhere, stinking up to high heavens. Just can't. It's terrible. It's old man, farmer man. This is United States. I don't know what the USGS stands for, but this is a trout hatchery area where they do experiments on, from what the guy told me, trying to make a better trout that has more of a chance of living in the waters around here year round. You know, more adapted to a little bit more warmer of a water than what they're accustomed to. See this place? It's pretty daggone big. Now it's going to go back to 45 so we can get back up to speed. But I just thought I'd tell you about that. You know, recently I got caught up in the hype over the wintertime on all these big baits, chatter baits, glide baits, the buka lures, these big swim baits. A friend of mine, her name Renee in North Carolina, she fishes a lot of these big baits in these lakes and reservoirs, catches some big bass. Yeah, so I bought a bunch of this crap. I bought into the hype of using braided wire, braided line. Never have. I've always used monofilament. So after I got into all this braid, and I was trying to learn to tie these knots, you know, the braid, the monofilament knots and such, I just kept winding up with a mess after mess after mess. I'd get out on the river, and my line would get all tangled up, the braid would get all tangled up in my, on the tip of my rod and stuff. All kinds of problems I would start having. Since I couldn't tie the knot, I started using those barrel swivels, you know, with the round ends, and I would tie the braid to one end, and I would tie the leader line, the mono, to the other one. Well, that created 2 more weak links right there. So there was 2 knots that I had to trust in all the time, besides the knot that was actually tied to my lure. Like I said, I kept trying to learn, I kept having problems. Finally, I said, screw it. And I took all the braid off, like 6 or 7 of my rods, went back to monofilament, and since then, I've been a lot happier. And I guess I'm just going to stick it out. Being an old guy, yeah. It's just like lures. Back in the day, I would look at some lures, you know, on the wall when I'd go in the sporting goods stores and such, and I'd be like, that doesn't even look natural. The colors are way off. There's no way in hell a fish is going to eat that. Yeah, well, I changed up. A lot of the lures I use nowadays, it's like, doesn't look like much I've ever seen before. And the colors that I used to shy away from are actually the colors that actually attract the fish. My fishing has went up a whole lot better. The lures I throw are a lot more fun. I'm not so basic stuck on anything anymore. I do have some bigger lures. Like today I'll be throwing some glide baits. They're about 6 inches long, nothing really big. But I've caught a lot of smallmouth on these glide baits that are almost the same size as the glide bait. But where we're going today has got some big bass. I caught a personal best out of here last year on a Ned rig, and I'm going to be throwing a Ned rig today. I'm going to be throwing a tube jig today. A lot of other lures too, but that's what I got set up. And I do have a glide bait. I took my better heavy duty rod, my Booyah rod that I had bought at a yard sale a while back with a reel. The reel started coming apart, so I put a nice quantum reel on there because it's a good stiff rod. I really like the rod for the heavier baits. We're running 12-pound monofilament, and we're going to see what we can do. Euros, and that's about what I got for you so far. Just thought I'd throw it in there. We're going to slow down again. When you go through these little towns, you got to be careful because the cops will be sitting here. This is a 25-mile-an-hour corner, a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, but you just don't want to get a ticket. Anyway, just thought I'd fill you in on what's going on for now, and we're on our way. We're heading to Shepherdstown. We're going to go do some fishing. Stick with it, and you'll be fine. Here we are again. We're on the Potomac River out here at Shepherdstown. I've seen some nice bass. You can kind of see in the water. I was just watching some deer across the river. Let's see what I'm talking about. Across the river. They came down off that hill. Look, there's a bunch of little fish all over the place. I've seen some nice bass. It's real nice and shady on this side. It's sunny on the other side, so I'm going to stay here. And because I'm here on the side, it's easier to paddle. But this is where we're at. This is where we're hoping we're going to make it happen. There's a lot of people complaining that we haven't had a whole lot of rain this year on these rivers, on Potomac and the Shenandoah. But a lot of times when these fish are spawning, they'll be in these beds, and I'll have these big rainstorms come through and the rivers get up real high and muddy, and it just washes the beds out. This year, I have seen so many, can you see them down there? So many small fish, so many babies, so many fry. And that's going to be, in another year or two, it's going to make a big difference on catch ratio. But I've got a 1/4 ounce white rooster tail on the front here. Got me a glide bait right there. And I'm getting ready to hook up a Z-Man crawl because these fish thrive on crayfish. And I'm going to try to get into something here today. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know where we're at. And here we go. Manu. Sitting here having lunch. Haven't caught a damn thing, but I'll tell you what. I've seen some nice fish. But I don't want to make some sense to me if you look all the way up there. Look all the way down there. Get your only other fisherman that comes through here. He winds up right there. Paddling around in circles. I don't know what the heck he thinks he's doing. But he was right there beside me. And he said a word, but now he's over there. Whole daggone river. He must know I'm the shiznit. Wherever I go, the fish go to. And have me a cold cut sub, some Doritos, and a orange crush. And yes, so when I leave here, I'll be taking the trash with me. It's kind of quiet out here. There's been a couple people on kayaks go by. Like I said, I've seen some nice bass along the shoreline. Over there, it's real sunny. Over here, it's a lot of shade. And I just retied. I put a swim bait on that rod. I put a Codtech underbelly spin on that rod. And I've got a Finesse Z-Man TRD on this rod. So we're going to go up here. We're going to start going up here further. Straight. And we're going to see what we can get into. Meanwhile, it's a beautiful day out here. Nice and warm. The wind's kind of calmed down a little bit because it was blowing me around. But luckily it was blowing me upstream. But it was spinning me around a little bit. That kind of sucked. Let's get to it. This is something strange to see. Look at the size of this moon moth. Something caught my eye while I was out there in the river. Look at this thing. Big, orange, brown, tan. I don't know what he's trying to do. But I have caught 4 small fish. Think about that. Check that out. Hope he's okay. The pretty red flowers. Where are the pretty red flowers? I can see them right there. There they are. They're pretty moon moth. Pretty neat, huh? He's on a bunch of moss. They're on the side of a rock. That's neat. Something else I just rolled up on. The wind's kind of kicking me around. Mama and a baby. Look how pretty. Something else you enjoy. Seeing nature out here. Okay, here we go. On the net rig. Ultralight net rig. What a mess this is. Alright, fish, trying to videotape this shit. Get this fucking hook out of this fish's mouth. He's all hooked up in the net. I don't know what was better. No net or this net. There he is. It's the biggest one of the day. And then I caught this. We're gonna let him go. See ya. Let me show you something here. I've caught so many fish today. I'm gonna show you what I caught them on. Like I wasn't catching nothing until I took this, put this on here. There, he's all tangled up. Let me see. He's all tangled up. How did you get over there? Okay. Let's get this off here. It's under there. Let's get this out of the way first. Excuse me. Man, it's been a friggin' day today. We're gonna take this. I'll throw this over there. We're gonna take this one here with the bigger Ned rig on it. Put that over there. And I'm going to show you the Z-Man Finesse. Hope you got to see that catfish. These are the Z-Man TRD Finesse ticklers. Very small. I can't even tell you, like 1/32 and then the little Twizzler. I've caught so many fish off this today. And I just caught that 20-inch catfish off of it. Now imagine by the time I'm done, I'm I'm gonna catch some more. So let's keep going. Let's keep going.